Hey, what's up? Sunzi here, and today we have what I call the poor man's keyboard. Not really, though. I mean, that kind of just is what I felt when I received this packaging, because this is basically just a bag, and here's the entire keyboard just right here. So this is the stacked 65 from Canon Keys. So basically, it's it's a it's a relatively cheap keyboard compared, like in terms of the custom mechanical keyboard space. This is a cheap keyboard, I would say. It's priced at around $70 to $80, something like that. Like 70, it's either 75 or 85. I forgot. But yeah, it's out of stock now. I guess it's popular because of its price point, and I think the board itself may not be too bad. Here's this is the PCB basically, and the PCB is actually a good one. This is the Savage 65 PCB. And I'm not sure if you know the Savage 65 keyboards. Those are the more premium boards on Canon Keys. So they're using the same PCB as the Savage 65, which is pretty cool. This is a pretty nice PCB. I think the only miss here is that this PCB actually does not have, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have RGB, which made sense on the Savage 65 because, well, actually some of the Savage 65 did have like see-through polycarbonate cases, I think. But yeah, I know a lot of people don't care about RGB, but I think if you're gonna have a keyboard that's like just see-through or it's translucent or something, having RGB could be pretty cool. I would say PCBs should like have an RGB and then let the user determine if they're gonna turn it on or off. But the Savage 65 PCB just doesn't have any RGB at all. So I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I mean, unless it has some kind of hidden light in here, because I don't see any lights. So I'm pretty certain it doesn't have RGB. And my PCB is seems slightly scuffed up. I see some like marks here and there, but it shouldn't affect the entire keyboard itself. Okay, so that's the PCB. Next up, all we have are, so this keyboard is called the Stacked 65, and basically what it is it's a 65% keyboard that uses acrylic material that's just stacked on top of each other, like one layer after another. So here's the plate, which is a FR4 plate, which feels like, I don't know what this, it feels like a hard cardboard kind of, but it's harder than that. So I think it feels stiffer than polycarbonate actually. So this is actually my first time using an FR4 plate. I haven't used an FR4 plate in other keyboards, so we'll see how this one goes. I'm excited to test out how this plate would sound. For me, I'm more of a aluminum plate person, but I'm willing to test out this FR4 plate. So here's the plate, and all we have is basically these are all the acrylic stacks that we're gonna use to. This is actually the case of the keyboard, or just a bunch of acrylic stacks, basically. Which honestly shows you why this keyboard is only priced at like, yeah, $70, $80. This is like just, this is basically it. It almost feels like you went to like Home Depot and came back with and like, oh, now I'm gonna build a keyboard out of like Home Depot material or something. And here are the screws, and basically, so they don't even give you any stabilizers or anything. It's just, or I guess they don't give you instructions either. This is it. This is just it. I'm wondering if this is sticky or no. If I take this off, does that do anything? How do I even... Okay, I'm kind of taking it off. Is this sticky? Oh, it's not. Okay, so I guess I can just take this off of that. Okay. Oh, another thing I want to mention is that this is a solder PCB. So you can't actually, so it's not hot swap. It's a solder version. At least in terms of the building experience, peeling these things off is quite satisfying. But I guess the problem with oh my god, what is that corner? Ugh. Oof. Let me tear down this corner as well. But I guess the problem would be that this thing is pretty much a fingerprint magnet. But as you can see, the entire case for this keyboard is going to be something like this, just, you know, just complete see-through and stuff. So it'll probably look pretty nice, but there's no, they didn't give us any stabilizers or anything, just the screws, the case, PCB, and the plate. So it's pretty much what you get for I guess $80 something. So we'll see how this goes.
Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah. through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge.
So this is the complete build of the Stack 65. As you can see, I kind of messed up the solder over here because this should have been a big Alt key and a big function or menu key. But I accidentally put this menu button, I soldered it slightly more towards the left instead of the position that I was supposed to solder it on. So since it shifted a little bit towards the left, I don't have enough space to put a big Alt, so here's a small Alt, and here's a menu key over here, and then there's like tiny gaps. I don't think it affects it too much, but just bear in mind that in the future, if you solder these kind of boards, just make sure you're put the switch into the right place to solder instead. 1 second. Okay, back to the keyboard. This, I think, is a budget endgame keyboard. And I say that because it feels, when you type on it, it feels just incredible. I don't know what it is. It has no foam at all, but I really like the plate. This FR4 plate I feel like is one of my favorite plate materials. I had to try other FR4 plates and see if they're also this good, but this FR4 plate I really like. Also the PCB, the Canon Key Savage 65 PCB is like really nice. I really like it. One cool thing about this board is that if you flip it over, you can actually see this part of it, you know, the basically the PCB, and you can see all the solder and that stuff. Really nice. This board is just really simple, you know, Stack 65. I didn't have much expectations for this board because it was literally just a plate, a PCB, and then they just gave me a bunch of acrylic material and I just stacked it all together. The build process was unnecessarily complex. Like, it was easy, but for some reason when I did the feet, they told me to like screw it in and then unscrew it a little bit to like loosen the top, so I was able to attach this to this, and that part confused me a lot, and I finally figured that out. But besides that, like, at first I saw it and I was like, okay, this is weird. I mean, what is it gonna be like when I like put it all together? And this is surprisingly good. Feels really nice in the hand, and the typing feeling is just so nice. Like, I would actually consider this an endgame keyboard for just, you know, 70 or 80 bucks, which is pretty insane. One downside to this keyboard is the sometimes when you hold it, you can feel like the acrylic like pieces kind of shift up and down a little bit, and I don't think that's going to be a big issue. I think it might have been the plate actually shifting. I'm not sure if it was the plate or the acrylic, they like slightly like move a really tiny bit, and it makes you worry a little bit, but it hasn't been a major issue. I kind of just like feel it shift a little bit when I hold it like this. Basically, every time I pick it up, I feel like it shifts a little bit. The other downside to this keyboard is that you do not want to, drop it. If you drop this board, there's a very good chance of it breaking. So if you're the careless person, make sure to be extra careful just not to drop this keyboard on the floor. And other than that, I really can't figure out anything wrong with this keyboard. I mean, it just feels really nice. It's also super light. Like, since it's using these stacked acrylic, it's not metal or anything. It's really light in the hand, and you can just take it with you. You have to buy your own case, though, because this keyboard does not come with an actual case. Oh, and when you're holding it, the sides and everything could be a bit rough because of the material. But yeah, it's really light. It's easy to carry. So if you're gonna I guess if you want to bring this to school, or if you're gonna bring this to an office or something, this is like just, if you have a case for it, this is really easy to carry, really easy to travel around with if you're gonna do that. So yeah, this is just, to me, I feel like this is just an, I think it was like, what, $70, a $70 endgame keyboard, which is absolutely insane. But let's not forget, what makes this endgame is not just the keyboard kit itself. We also have to consider the keycaps and the switches used in this keyboard. So the keycaps that I'm using are restocked on KBD fans, and these are the epbt bow, which is short for black on white. And these are PBT material, and they are super simple, and really feels really, really nice. Like there's some of those PBT keycaps that, like, PBT material is normally really rough. They have that roughness, but they're also really smooth at the same time, which is something that I believe, if you're buying from like EPD, PBT and stuff, like that's actually a reason to buy from them, is because they have really nice PBT keycaps. They're like rough, but a lot smoother compared to some of the generic PBT keycaps that you'll get. The switches are the Gateron Pro Yellow switches, and these are stock. Like, they're not actually, I did not lube them, I did not film them. They're stock, and they feel insanely good. And I tried lubing and filming one, and it didn't really seem that much different compared to like the stock one, so I just didn't put in the effort to actually, I just didn't really care to lube and film all of them. I felt like that was going to be a waste of my resources. But yeah, this keyboard feels insane. Like, with these switches and with these keycaps, this is an absolute endgame keyboard. That I would basically consider this as an endgame keyboard. So yeah, that's it for this keyboard build. Be sure to like and subscribe. I think the Stack 65 is out of stock on Canon keys, but I mean, if you get the chance of purchasing this board with these Gateron Pro Yellow switches and some of these and just some really good quality keycaps, then this is absolutely just an endgame keyboard for anyone for only like $80. Alright, that's the end of this build. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.